Hello, my name is Philip Alexander Speidel, and this is my HL presentation on international security. My topic question will be: to what extent do asylum seekers in Switzerland affect international security? First of all, Switzerland is a landlocked country, locked right in the European Union. However, it's not really a part of it. As mentioned, Switzerland is not a member of the EU, but it has undertaken large sections of EU policy. For example, the Free Persons Movement was signed on June 21st in 1999 between Switzerland and the EU, but it only came into force on the 1st of June 2002. Now, what is asylum? Asylum is an institution for care of people who require assistance and a place to be safely stationary. So, people usually seek asylum when they leave their original home country because they feel threatened there. In other words, they're not really getting their human rights, and a human right is a right which is believed to belong to every person, no matter where they're located in the world or from what background they come. Situations like these involve a death threat, if they're part of a targeted population, or if their family is being targeted. For example, their husband was killed or their wife was killed in front of them, something like that. Now, due to the free people's movement, Switzerland has agreed to let a lot of people into Switzerland, even if the need for asylum is due to a minor problem. However, as a rule, asylum seekers whose application has been rejected must return to their country of origin. However, people who really can't go there because they will die or they're just not let back in, get issued a provisional residence permit, which is known as the F permit. They have to live in an arrangement which is not good, so they don't get their own property, they don't get to buy stuff, they don't get supported by the government. It's really a hard lifestyle, which basically encourages them to go back to where they came from. Now, the F permit entails a great number of restrictions for its holders, which means that affected persons sometimes have to live here for years in that arrangement, although it's only supposed to be temporary because they can't do enough stuff to get out. Now, what kind of problems does this bring to Switzerland? Well, sovereignty is a massive problem. Sovereignty is the quality of having an independent authority over a geographic area. It's a problem because so many people are admitted compared to other countries, so it mitigates Switzerland's sovereignty in terms of low-skilled, low-paid workers. So foreigners are getting all these low-paid jobs, while Swiss people with a lower education have a lot of problem getting these jobs, which they find is unfair. As mentioned before, Swiss citizens with low income do not fully appreciate the foreigners getting all the low-paid jobs. This is an even bigger problem when they do not assimilate, which means becoming Swiss in the Swiss society. They rather accommodate, which means staying the old ways into Swiss society. This is a problem because if someone moves into Switzerland, Swiss tend to be very patriotic and they actually end up taking their job, and they still practice their religion in public or their culture in public and don't really assimilate to Swiss standards. It really gets the Swiss annoyed, which leads to an increase of fights on the streets, an increase of threats to these foreigners, and an increase of threats to these Swiss. A great example of someone searching asylum is a co-pilot from Ethiopian Airways. He hijacked his own Ethiopian Airways plane and forced it to land in Switzerland, where he requested asylum. This leads Ethiopia to saying don't grant him asylum, of course, because they want him back. But Switzerland obviously will look at this, well, he hijacked his own plane to come live here, so there must be a big problem. So they will probably start investigating, and they'll believe it's necessary to research what's going on. This might make Ethiopia nervous about what they're doing to their people. It could reveal information Ethiopia does not want to reveal. Therefore, Ethiopia might go to extremes to prevent Switzerland from going in, therefore creating a huge international security threat for Switzerland and Ethiopia. Ethiopia in the way that Switzerland will research their country, which is of course not really fair in some ways, and Ethiopia might feel threatened by this and then start threatening Switzerland. This goes along with all of the countries that, all of the citizens from different countries that request asylum in Switzerland. Now, the problems with the Swiss citizens led to a vote on the 12th of February 2014 where 50.3% of the Swiss citizens voted against the ease of granted asylum. In Geneva, in Switzerland, Geneva, on the 12th of